Blood stains the snow, not red, gold. It drips from her hands as bodies collapse around her. Warriors split open by iron and prophecy. Their armor cracks. Their breath fogs the air. Their prayers die in their throats. They called for Odin. Freya answered. She stands untouched in the carnage, hair unbound, eyes steady, not smiling, not mourning, choosing, because half of the dead belonged to her. That was the bargain no warrior ever read closely. In Norse myth, death isn't an ending. It's a transaction. And Freya controls the receipt. Odin claims Valhalla, yes, but Freya claims Fólkvangr, her own realm of the fallen. Equal share, no explanation given, no justification offered, just power. Here's the paradox. The sagas tell us Thor was the god of violence, Odin the god of war, Loki the god of chaos. But Freya ruled desire, and desire doesn't just kill bodies. It kills judgment. It kills loyalty. It kills gods. She didn't storm cities. She didn't swing weapons. She whispered. She made kings burn their own kingdoms. She made brothers betray brothers. She made warriors rush toward death, smiling. So ask the real question. If love controls war, if desire decides who dies, then who was truly the most dangerous god in Norse mythology? Because Freya wasn't feared like Thor. She was invited. And that's worse. Stay with this story, because by the end, Freya won't look like a goddess of love.
Unveil the legends.
Before the blood soaked the snow, there was a fragile balance. Not peace, never peace. Just tension held together by fear and prophecy. Odin ruled Asgard like a man waiting for his own execution. He knew how he would die. He knew when. And that knowledge hollowed him out. Every decision he made came from terror disguised as wisdom. Thor was strength without patience, a hammer aimed at problems he didn't understand. Loki was cleverness without restraint, every joke sharpened into a blade. And Freya arrived from the Vanir, a rival, tribe of gods whose power wasn't built on conquest, but on fertility, wealth, magic, and control over unseen forces. The Aesir and Vanir had gone to war once, a brutal, pointless conflict. Neither side won, so they traded gods instead of corpses. Freya was sent to Asgard, not as a prisoner, as a political solution. From the moment she arrived, order began. T.O. rot. She didn't rule with commands. She ruled with attraction. People leaned closer when she spoke, forgot vows, forgot consequences. And Freya carried something the Aesir feared, seiðr, a form of magic tied to fate, memory, desire, and the bending of will itself. It wasn't flashy. It didn't throw lightning. It invaded. Men who practiced it were shamed, labeled weak, unnatural. Freya mastered it, and then she did the unthinkable. She taught it to Odin. The All-Father, the god obsessed with control, learned magic that required surrender. That alone should have terrified everyone, because once desire enters power, power never leaves cleanly. The clock was already ticking. Then Freya lost. The one thing she didn't control, her husband, either vanished. No farewell, no corpse, no prophecy, just absence. Freya searched every realm, Asgard, Midgard, Vanaheim, even places the gods pretended didn't exist. Nothing. And when Freya cried, the earth listened. Her tears hardened into gold, amber, falling onto stone, into rivers, into human hands. Wealth born from grief, but grief didn't soften her. It taught her. Freya learned that love is leverage, and she began collecting debts. She demanded half of all who died in battle. Odin agreed. That moment rewrote the afterlife. Warriors didn't just fight for glory anymore. They fought for selection. Who would Odin choose? And who would Freya take? Then came Brisingamen, a necklace of impossible beauty, forged by 4 dwarves who knew exactly what they were creating. Freya wanted it, and desire once again demanded payment. 4 nights, 4 bargains, 4 choices that echoed forever. When the gods discovered the truth, outrage followed. Judgment, punishment, but the damage was already done. Freya had learned something terrifying, that no one, not gods, not kings, not even fate, was immune to want. And the battlefield became her domain. Steel rang, bones snapped. Men screamed her name as they died, not in fear, in devotion. Here's the detail the myths whisper, but never say out loud. Freya doesn't just rule love, she rules choice. In the sagas, warriors don't know where they'll go when they die. Valhalla or Fólkvangr, glory or silence, honor or surrender. That uncertainty matters, because uncertainty changes behavior. A man who knows he will be rewarded fights bravely. A man who knows he might be chosen fights desperately. Freya understood. Her power wasn't physical. It was psychological. She turned the battlefield into a casino, every swing of the sword a gamble, every death a negotiation. And notice this. Freya never promises protection. She never promises victory. She only promises attention. To be seen by her was to matter. That's the oldest addiction there is. Then there's seiðr. This magic didn't bend reality. It bent perception, memory, emotion, desire. The kind of magic that convinces someone their idea was always their own. Freya didn't dominate minds. She nudged them. Enough to start wars. Enough to end bloodlines. Odin learned this from her, the god of wisdom, the god who sacrificed himself to steal runes from the dead. Even he didn't invent his most dangerous power. He borrowed it, which leads to a darker possibility. What if Freya wasn't shaping the end of the world out of grief, but out of strategy? Ragnarok isn't sudden. It's a slow collapse driven by betrayal, hunger, envy, and misplaced love. Those are Freya's domains. And while the other gods prepare for the apocalypse with weapons and walls, Freya prepares by cultivating desire, knowing it will do the killing for her. She doesn't stop Ragnarok. She feeds it. Freya never stands on the battlefield at Ragnarok. She doesn't need to. By then, the damage is complete. The gods tear each other apart, driven by old debts and older obsessions. Brothers fight brothers. Monsters rise because they were loved too fiercely, or not at all. Odin falls to the wolf he tried to outsmart. Thor kills the serpent, then dies from its poison, victory poisoning itself. Loki faces Heimdall. Mirror against mirror. Chaos consuming order. And Freya? In many versions, she survives, quietly, which is the cruelest ending of all. The goddess tied most closely to death through love remains after the world burns. The irony cuts deep. Freya lost her husband and Fine, learned that love cannot be controlled. The gods feared death and learned that control creates it. Everything they did to avoid the end, hoarding power, manipulating fate, denying desire, only accelerated it. Freya didn't cause Ragnarok with violence. She caused it by revealing a truth the gods refused to accept. That wanting something badly enough will always cost more than you can afford. That's why her myth doesn't feel ancient, it feels familiar. Empires still fall chasing beauty. Wars still begin over desire dressed up as honor. People still destroy themselves for the chance to be chosen. Freya wasn't a villain, she was a mirror. Here's the final thought. Fear can be resisted. Strength can be challenged. Chaos can be contained. But desire? Desire asks permission first. And that's why Freya was dangerous. Not because she took lives, but because everyone offered them willingly. So decide, was Freya the most dangerous goddess in Norse mythology? Or the only one brave enough to show the gods who they truly were? Drop your answer below. And if Freya unsettled you, understand this, She taught Odin everything he knew about forbidden magic, which means the next question is unavoidable. What happens when the god of wisdom becomes addicted to control? Because his obsession didn't save the world, it sentenced it. That story waits in the shadows,